Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nessa Sanjova for those who don't know me, reviewing Young, Famous, and African. Wow. Season 2, episode 7. You can see where my head is at. Clearly I'm tuning out of the show. I am tuning out of the show. I think season 1 really grabbed me and I was sold. But season 2, you're doing too much and it feels very inauthentic. So if y'all are gonna be greenlit for season 3, change it up. And by change it up, I mean the people. Anyways, before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. The group reconnects in Cape Town. Guys, I was really excited to see them in Cape Town because I have a plan. Hopefully my mother doesn't watch this video. I have a plan to take my mom to Cape Town this year because it's on her bucket list and she's turning 60. And my question is, girl, you live in Zim. Cape Town is a hop and a skip away. How have you never been to Cape Town in 60 years? Anyways, she really wants to go to Cape Town. So seeing Cape Town, I felt like this was a sign, okay? This was a sign, like I have to go now. They're all reconnecting in Cape Town and the tension is still thick.
Swanky is not the one to fuck around with like that. Like, if you disrespect me, be ready for whatever.
78 persons in you, be real.
Who makes such an effort to get someone such a shady gift?
It's so embarrassing. I can't even look at Louis right now.
Swanky. How is this shady? It's shady, shady.
You know, I thought we got rid of the notion that all publicity is good publicity. Because not them doing fireworks. It is Sunday. It's not even a holiday. Anyways, the publicity that Swanky is getting this season is not good. And I don't know what this does for his brand. Maybe it'll elevate for the people who are petty, but for the people who were being drawn into his story for season 1 seem to have been falling off season 2. So I don't know what Swanky is on. I also don't think that Louis, now what's his name? Louis or Louis or Louis or Louis? One of them four is his name. I don't think that he's given Swanky a reason to be this childish. They've obviously had some discourse back and forth, but nothing has warranted this reaction out of Swanky. So you just look childish. You look like you're throwing a tantrum, and it's very unbecoming of you, Swanky. Like, I don't know. You might want to reevaluate how you're coming across on the show. There's a theme with the cast trying to make Louis seem like he is a problem. And I will say, is he Akko Taco? Yeah. Sometimes I look at him like, we eating fine. Like, what is it? Are you okay?
I think you've done a lot of stuff that just irritates him and annoys him.
Like what?
Zari's birthday, they were talking about how you asked Zari for her eggs. So that's weird to me.
You are taking what is being said on the streets and you are judging me for it already, you know what I'm saying? Without having to speak to me to understand where this is coming from. She's very blinded. She's like a sheep. She will follow what Swanky says. She's the type of person who is easily led.
Fantana is seemingly not thinking for herself.
Although it pains me to side with Andile, he is right. Was the baby conversation kind of weird? Yeah. But in context, Zari is looking to birth a child through surrogacy, right? So is Louis. Why not do it together? Since they both want kids, but not necessarily a partnership with the kid's dad, you know what I mean? Assuming that it's Diamond that Zari wants to reproduce with, because apparently she has a boyfriend right now, and the boyfriend also I don't know, it's confusing. So in context, it makes a little bit more sense where Louis was coming from. It's still a weird conversation, but Swanky heard something and just skewed the narrative and ran with it. But even Nadia, because Nadia told the story wrong, and then she heard it, and then she told, You see, the season is a mess. You can't even follow anymore. All we know is y'all are making Louis seem a lot more problematic than he really is. The producers are really making a play to get Andile's baby mamas to be a part of the show permanently, because here we have Rosette.
I'll see you later.
Let's kiss here.
You know, Rosette always poking at me. Rosette and I are best friends, despite what my wishes could have been.
The conversation that Andile and I need to have is, are we together or are we not? I haven't had anyone in my life because he makes sure.
Again, I say the audacity for Andile to have words for Zari and Diamond and how they interact as co-parents when he's interacting like this, not with just one woman, but two. The way he's hugging up on Rosette, you would think that they were together today. And then on top of that, he's trying to forge a relationship with Sivavazzo. So why are you now cozying up with Rosette knowing that you want to be with Siva, knowing that Siva does not like Rosette? Make it make sense. We thought Diamond was messy. It's really Andile. And Zari told us. Zari was like, Andile is a player. He and Diamond are cut from the same cloth. And when she said it, I was like, really? But now I'm like, oh yeah, maybe even worse. This season, Andile is Mr. Let Me Hear You Out. He did it with Annie. Now he's doing it with Louis. And he's asking, so surrogacy, where's it coming from? Why are you talking like this? Like, let us into your story.
Big Brother Africa.
Yeah.
I was 21. I had sex in the house. So upon me coming out, I got excommunicated from the congregation. They're getting old and they're changing. They are becoming different. I mean, a lot can happen in 7 years. So I miss all of them. Yeah.
My heart broke listening to Louis. On a personal level, just being somebody who's really connected to their family, I cannot imagine being forced to not speak to them anymore. And then on top of that, being raised strictly religious, like Louis, well, maybe not like Louis, because first of all, we don't refer to the religion that I was raised in as an organization. It's kind of giving a cult. So it's not as strict as what he was going through, but I fully understand this guilt of there are things that I want to do, and there's a persona that I have and I cannot express because the community around me doesn't allow it. I've been raised that way. I was raised Seventh-day Adventist for people who don't know. And am I a Seventh-day Adventist now? Questionable. So the fact that he engaged with somebody sexually on TV and was forced to excommunicate his family is really heartbreaking. And essentially he wants to create a family because he no longer has one. Now, the way that he wants to go about it, I still feel is a little bit selfish, but it can be done. There are single fathers out there who are madly successful. I just think if it is his goal to build like a mom, dad, kid kind of family, why not try that? And then if it doesn't work out, okay. But to say like, yup, when I turn 30, I'm going to have a surrogate and maybe it'll be somebody I know and we're just going to go our separate ways. I'm like, why? I'm sorry for those who that offends, but that's just how I feel. I feel like if you can create a full family unit, let's try to do that first. And talking to Louis, Andile is having this revelation that he too wants to have a solid family unit and he's going to work with the women he's already had children with.
What I know for sure is I'm not sure I want to be alone right now. But what I don't know is that a fair reason to want to be with someone?
I need all or nothing. Yeah, I need a complete person. I don't want half an Andile. I don't deserve half.
If I'm to pursue this, I'm gonna have to speak to Rosette.
Don't flirt with me.
This man said, I don't necessarily want to be with you, but I don't want to be without you. In other words, if I can't have you, nobody else can. Essentially, like, and Sibabatso is there like, no, if you want us to be a family, I want it to be because you want me, not because you're lonely. And she knows that it's coming from Andile being lonely, and she's still going to entertain the thought. I'm like, no, sis. No. The man don't want you. He just don't want to be alone. And maybe, this is an assumption, maybe other people look into his situation and say, I don't want to be a part of this. So he has to reach into the resources he already has, and that's you and Rosette. I don't know why he doesn't want Rosette though. Because he seems to have a similar dynamic with the two women. I wasn't paying attention when they were talking about, their young dating life. I was so bored. But I'm like, if it's honestly just loneliness, go with Rosette. She clearly wants you to do something. I think it's a little bit harder with Sibabato because she wants an actual like desire and whatever. And it seems like Rosette would be okay with anything. That sounds so bad. I mean, like, she would be okay if the initial reason for why y'all got together was loneliness and then it eventually turned into something, whereas that's not gonna fly with Siba. Does that make sense? Let me shut up. Let's move on. Kaylee and Naked have a section and I felt like they were just taking up space, but it's fine. Let's talk about them. Essentially, Naked has been stepping it up in the romantic department, in the romance department, and in the communication department.
So how do you force me to be romantic? And then when the romance is thrust upon thee, you don't know how to act. This is what you wanted.
I love you more.
Why are you acting so weird? Are you gonna ask me to marry you?
Kaylee wants to fast forward life. I don't want to get married to get divorced.
Again, I'm pained to side with Naked, but I hear where he's coming from. He doesn't want to be in a marriage that's bound for divorce. And so he wants to make sure he makes the right decision before he even, signs the papers. But then I'm like, so if you're with somebody for 3 years, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, Gunyabilitatu. 3 years. I'm surprised I can count to 3 in Ndebele, honestly. Look at me. And you still have this worry of, am I sure they're the right person? What are you doing? What have you been doing for these last 3 years? Clearly not intentionally dating because what? What? I'm so confused. If I'm not mistaken, I think Naked has been married before. So that adds to his weariness when it comes to marriage. I fully understand. But I'm like, in 3 years, you're still unsure. And they put in a teaser where it seems like he's going to propose in the next episode. But I'm like, I don't know, Kaylee. I don't know. But girl, if you like it, I love it. The episode ends with a boat party where Swanky is talking to Louis and a few other people, trying to get down to, where things went wrong with them. And essentially, Swanky is saying, well, if I'm telling the story wrong, you need to come and correct me.
I'm expecting that, okay, if you're there and people are saying these things and it's not true, why are you not correcting the narrative? Why are you letting the poison spread across the group?
Don't you think you're misunderstood in this group?
Yes.
Honestly, I also apologize for that because that's not my character.
People are always going through so much and we don't even know. We only see the outside.
I understand Louis now more than anything.
Now, here's my thing. I do sometimes look at Louis and I'm wondering, why isn't he saying anything to kind of fix the situation? But then he does speak up and he seems like somebody who doesn't want to be confrontational. He can if he needs to be, but he doesn't want to be. So when everybody's talking up and screaming, why is he going to join in the screaming if he can just leave? And I rate that. I do. There's no point to add to the chaos, So when they're saying, you need to speak up, you need to whatever. No. How about y'all actually seek the truth instead of hearing these telephone conversations and then running with misinformation? How about that? Because now everybody has heard the story from Louis' mouth and like, oh my gosh, we judged you and we didn't even know what was going on in the main. You should have just talked to Louis and you would have known from time. You would have known a long time ago where he was coming with that conversation. And also what he meant when he brought Zari into the situation. He wasn't saying, Zari, could you donate your eggs? But he was saying, I mean, if this is something that you're interested in, I'm also interested in it. We could do the research and pursue it individually or maybe do it together. We already know each other. Like, this could have been rectified a long time ago. But because these grown-ass people don't know how to have grown-ass conversations, here we are having childish fights. See, I want the show to be with younger people because at least if they are fighting over things that are childish, it makes sense because they're young. Some of these people are 40. And if not 40, they're touching it. It's weird. It's so weird. Guys, this might be my last season. I won't even lie to you. Anyways, now let me know your thoughts on episode 7. We're almost at the end, guys. Whew, we are almost at the end. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.